This April the 23rd Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sport Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Tuesday, April the 22nd. We are here to handicap the full slate of action for Wednesday, April the 23rd. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Scott Reichel. Scott, 2 days in a row, what's happening?
I can't complain. Definitely looking forward to the games today. It's nice to be back on the show with you. Should be fun, and looking forward to it. How is the rest of the Dolly Parton movie?
I watched it all, actually. I got a little bit engrossed. It turns out it's quite a famous movie. Friends of mine today, I was telling people that they'd been to the theatre to see it. So it's a bit of a... It was called 9 to 5, obviously, so which is a thing. But no, I enjoyed it, mate. If I look in some sort of physical distress, I just got in from Fat Man football about 8 minutes ago. Fat Man five-a-side, and you don't realise quite how fat and slow we all are until you stand and go for 5 minutes and watch how fat and slow everyone else is. It feels like it's a million mile an hour when you're playing, and then you have 5 minutes in goal, and it really isn't a million mile an hour. So I'm knackered. I'm just out the shower. I can't breathe. I feel like I've been run over. Scott, this is episode 666 of the MLB Gambling Podcast. This is episode 666. You were exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Scott's making ritualistic hand signs.
Was that Illuminati? Illuminati triangles? Are what we're doing here?
Expect the necromancer to turn up at any minute. And also, do you know what April the 23rd is in this country, Scott?
I have no idea.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
The day Man City beat Aston. The day Man City beat Aston Villa. I don't know.
No, that was the 22nd, dickhead. The 23rd is St George's Day, which is our national patron saint. Do you know St George and the Dragon? Are you aware of that story?
No.
Oh my God, you people have got zero culture. Yeah, it's our national holiday. Frankly, no one gives a shit. Nothing happens. The most patriotic thing I saw last year was I went for a curry, and the Indian fella had put the cross of St George on the naan breads, which is a lovely touch. The red cross on the English flag. He put on his naan breads when I had a nice lamb balti. Yeah, so that was a nice touch. So there you go. Bit of an odd one here because it's not very often that the same hosts do back-to-back shows. And since we talked about last night's card, none of those games have played as well. So you're kind of going to get probably a similar observation on how we think certain teams are going. But we've got 30 separate pitches to have a look at. If you are in the chat, by all means, say hello. Jesse's joined us. Jesse, how are you doing? The number of the beast, Jesse, correct. And Jason is here as well. Welcome along. If you are lurking in the chat, say hello. Throw out a few picks for us. The NFL Draft Show is live on Thursday. We're having a big old watch party. Everyone's getting involved, even me and Big Baz doing the Jags. Scott's doing the Jets. That is all your favourite hosts at Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, youtube.com, Sports Gambling Podcast. That's youtube.com, Sports Gambling Podcast. We will kick off Wednesday's slate with a 12:15. Lots of early day ball for me tomorrow. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Atlanta Braves. It is Miles Mikolas for the Cards. For Atlanta, it will be Bryce Elder. The Braves are favourites, -170, +140 the Cards, and the total here is 8.5. The Cardinals on Monday night stretched their losing streak to 5 games. And I can't recommend Mikolas ever. I haven't recommended Mikolas for 3 years, the Lizard King. We had Patrick Corbin as Spider-Man last night. We've got the Lizard King tonight with Miles Mikolas. I don't like him. St. Louis have lost all 4 of his starts so far this season. So under no circumstances will I be betting the Cards. Bryce Elder ended up on the winning side last start, but he's given up 4, 5, and 3. 3 overs as well. I just don't see a reason not to fade both pitchers. But I'm going to do it early. I'm going to take a first 5 over. I really think Mikolas is vulnerable here, Scott.
Yeah, after watching Iglesias pitch the 9th inning yesterday, I'll take the over in the full game instead because I don't trust both bullpens in general. I'm still annoyed about that game. I had the Braves minus 1.5, and they scored 5 runs in the 8th inning and then gave up 3 runs in the 9th inning. And I ended up losing the run line by them winning by 1. So that was pretty annoying. But either way, the Cardinals can't win on the road. They're 1-10. Mikolas, we know, is horrible. Every time I mention him on the show, I give you a shout out because I know how much you dislike the guy. So I do think that Mikolas will struggle again. Elder's not great either. I like the over in the game. If you want to go first 5, that's fine. I don't trust either bullpen anyway. So I'll just throw them in there too. Just give me the over.
Okay, double bubble on the over. Jesse's got all the St. George knowledge in the chat. Good knowledge, Jesse. You got an A+ for your English history. John's joined us as well. John, welcome along. The second game here is a 1:10 Eastern first pitch between the San Diego Padres and the Detroit Tigers. We have Ryan Hart, left-handed pitcher. Kyle Hart, left-handed pitcher for the Padres. It will be Reese Olson going for the Tigers, who are minus 160, plus 130 the Padres. Total is 8.5. I like Detroit here, Scott, but that price has surprised me. Minus 160. I was expecting more of a working man's price. What do you think?
Yeah, I think based on the price alone, I'll have to go San Diego. I'm not happy about it. I think Olson is better than Hart. I don't think Hart's that great, but he gets run support. He's 2-1 with a 6+ ERA, so at least they're scoring on his behalf. But I can't lay 160. I understand the argument about Detroit being once again a solid team right now at home, especially as they are currently 9-2 at home. San Diego 16-7 overall, 4-6 on the road, but 160 is a bit too steep for me. It's Padres by default, but I'm probably not going to bet it.
Yeah, my pick was the Tigers, but I very often make these picks before I say the odds. I thought I might say a minus 130, and I'd be quite happy to recommend it. The Tigers have been great. Since that sweep at the Dodgers in the first series, they're 14-6 since that sweep, which is a rock-solid record. Fernando Tatis flying for the Padres, 22-game on-base streak. Kyle Hart had a good start against Colorado, but was blown up for 5 earned runs either side of that against Houston and the Cubs. The Cubs game, he only managed 2 outs as well. Anything good he's done, he's been at home, which is why I'd like to fade him here. Olsen was good against the Royals last time. His 2 good starts have been at home. Detroit 9-2 at home. So it was just ticks in boxes. I was happy to take Detroit. Maybe if I can find a minus 150, it might be that unit and a half play. 1:10 Eastern time as the Philadelphia Phillies at the New York Mets. Zach Wheeler takes the ball for Philly. For the Mets, it will be left-handed pitcher David Peterson. This one's tight on the books. Minus 105 the Mets, minus 115 the Phillies. Total here is 7.5. Mets picked up another good win. Francisco Lindor doing the business for them last night. Kyle Schwarber going along nice. He currently leads the league. He's got the longest on-base streak in MLB. 29 games, Kyle Schwarber. Zach Wheeler's not been brilliant lately. 13 strikeouts was good last time. Only 2 earned runs against Miami. And again, it's his splits for me, for Wheeler. His road starts, 9 earned runs in his last 2 and 2 defeats. Peterson's been okay. He's kind of average, isn't he, Peterson? 136 whip is about right for him. Philly are hitting 276 against left-handed pitching. This was really tight. The Mets trend strongly to the under. I didn't want to get involved with the total. I'm going to take the Mets, but man, this was a toss of a coin, Scott. Yeah, I'd favour the Mets, but not by much. I've got players that I like more.
Yeah, so we got to the same conclusion, but it took me a lot less time because I just like the Mets in the game in general. The Mets are good at home. I might just back them blindly at home at this point. They're 10-1 at home. Phillies 4-6 on the road. I believe Phillies 5-7 in their last 12. You said Wheeler, as of right now, has been more of a name brand guy this season because he hasn't really been that good in general in terms of substance. Peterson's been fine, but the Mets have been really good at home. And I do think you're looking at the Mets being arguably the better team. They have a better bullpen. Diaz sucked last night, but that's fine because that means he can't be. And he might pitch in this game, who knows? But besides Diaz, they've been fine. I like the bullpen. I like the lineup. Soto almost hit a home run yesterday. Was fouled by about a foot and a half. But Lindor had 2. Alonso's been great this season. I like how they're playing. Give me the Mets.
Lindor MVP? Do anything for you, Scott?
I don't even think he's MVP on his own team right now. I'd probably go Alonso first on that team. But Lindor preseason I thought about, but Soto's not doing much, and Lindor's been very good. So you can argue maybe that there's an argument to be made if you think that he had a decent chance last year. He didn't. Ohtani was clearly going to win the entire time. But you can make an argument that Lindor maybe has a path this year. I would say no, but I have him to be the runs leader at like 25-1, so I hope he gets that done for me.
Okay, solid. Solid bet, Scott. Carl's joined us. Carl gets involved in the Premier League show. He's getting his loyalty card stamped tonight. Welcome, Callum. One Tennyson first pitch. Cincinnati Reds at the Miami Marlins. Brady Singer for Cincinnati. And Sandy Alcantara will go for Miami, who are -130. The Reds +110. Total, Scott, is 8.5.
So I'm going to ask you for this game. Do you think Alcantara's good?
Do I think he's good, or do I think he's good at the minute?
Both. Because what I'm asking is because, of course, he had a phenomenal run before the injuries. He's come back, and his ERA is north of 7. So the reason why I'm asking is because, as you said before, the Marlins are favored in this game, even though Singer's clearly been better. The Reds' offense has been good lately. And I'm just asking because Alcantara, I feel like, is being priced based on reputation when he has just not been good at all so far this season. And he also can't hold runners. People steal bases on him all the time, which is not a good combo when you're against the Reds. So I'll go with the Reds plus money, but I want your thoughts on Alcantara because I know we liked him a lot. He was great about 2 years ago, but he's still being priced like it's 2 years ago and not like it's 2025. So I wanted your thoughts on Alcantara.
That is it. It's the bounce back potential. Lonte messaged us in about January asking about our thoughts on Alcantara for Cy Young. Lonte wanted to get involved in there. And I don't think he garnered much support, particularly. Yeah, but it's that name thing. That's the thing with pitchers. When you've seen them do it, you know they can do it. The temptation is to get back involved. And we're seeing it now with DeGrom, people like that. But it's been such a long time. And because he's on Miami, it's always tempting. On a day like today, even if Alcantara was good, at -130, you'd be tempted to fade them just because it's Miami. You get a chance to back a team to beat Miami at +110, which seems like the good sense thing to do. So he doesn't particularly get on my radar, Alcantara here. Before taking these prices, I was going to take the over, but I just have to take Cincinnati at plus money. You can't be taking Sandy at -130. I did want to give Max Meyer a mention, actually. A picture that we've mentioned on this show.
Last night?
14 Ks, unbelievable start. We got him at 2-1, didn't we, to beat the Mets a couple of weeks ago? I think he was around about +160 the time after that. Good performance. I don't know what he would have been last night.
Well, Adam and I went a little bit of. Adam and I went above and beyond because before his start against the Mets or mid-start against the Mets a couple of weeks ago, Adam and I took him to win the Cy Young.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see what happens there. But can't complain. 14 strikeouts in 6 innings. Looks pretty good.
I mean, Singer's been consistent. 3 earned runs in 3 consecutive starts. He's walked 3 in the last 2 of those. He's had loads of run support. Cincinnati have scored 37 runs for him in his 4 starts. That's plenty, isn't it? That'll get the win there. Alcantara struggled against Philly and Washington. Mentioned Miami trending to the over, but at the prices, since I've seen the prices, I will ride with the Cincinnati Reds at plus money, Scott. We move on. Let me tell you first about Edge Boost. If you have ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet, if you needed cash at 2 a.m., Edge Boost has got your back. at the first ever bank account built for bettors. EdgeBoost gives you fast, reliable access, and without the delay that can come with traditional banks. You can get 0.5% cash back with every deposit. It's a debit account that makes it easy. Verify your identity, and you are ready to go. Loads of gambling tools as well. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's www.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for EdgeBoost today. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport. The NFL draft props are all live up there. MyBookie accepts customers from loads of locations, crypto payouts. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Shares on my telly tonight, Scott. We're going with the whole gamut of 1970s American pop icons. Cher is it the Shoop Shoop song, possibly? She's singing anyway.
I just imagine it's always Believe whenever I see Cher on TV.
Might be.
You know?
Put the noise on.
Like, you know what song I'm talking about. Like, do you
I don't think it's either.
Yeah, that song. Yeah, that one. That's like the only song I know from Cher. So there we go.
No, it's not. She's got a little dance going though. It's impressive.
Okay.
1:10 Eastern first pitch is the New York Yankees at the Cleveland Guardians. Left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon for the Pinstripes. For the Guardians, it will be LL Luis Ortiz. Plus 120 the Guardians, minus 140 the Yankees. Total sits at 8.5. Guardians are going along quite nicely, aren't they? 4 games in a row now they've won. Kyle Manzardo, we talked about last night, before he hit a third one for the third game running. Ortiz has been okay, but he's faced quite soft opposition, I noticed. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and the Angels. So this is a little bit of a step up in terms of the oppo. He's only had one home start, and it was good. Cleveland are 1-4-1 to the first 5 against left-handed pitching. 2-4 straight up, not hitting the lefties as well. Rodon was wobbling before 6 scoreless and 9 punch-outs at Tampa Bay last time. He needed that start. Plenty of strikeouts. His metrics are positive. That 1-4-1 first 5 against the lefties for Cleveland was the stat that stood out for me. I'll take the Yankees first 5, Scott.
Yeah, I feel like for this matchup, it's tough to evaluate what happened yesterday because Schmidt was just horrible. But Williams was good for Cleveland. Nice win there. Rodon has been pretty up and down all season. He's off a great start against Tampa. We'll see how he does in this one. Cleveland, though, getting plus 125 despite being 6-1 at home, I think is pretty appealing. I'd probably consider Cleveland just for the price. Maybe it's because I'm biased against Rodon. But 150 feels pretty massive. I mean, you're looking at the main core of the lineup right now for the Yankees. We know Judge has been great. Goldschmidt, I think, had a hit yesterday. It was an infield single. I mean, Jazz has 6 home runs. I don't think he's looked very good this season. Bellinger's been a little bit cold lately. It feels like Cleveland right now is just going along a bit more solidly than the Yankees. Maybe it's just a little bit of recency bias, but I think plus 125 for a team that's 6-1 at home, that is playing good baseball, as you said, I think has value. Now, the problem is Manzardo might not play because Rodon's a lefty. So we'll see if he ends up going or not. They might be using a righty instead, so keep that in mind. But point is, I think for this matchup, I'll go with Cleveland. Plus 125 feels like a very good price for, I think, what's closer in terms of matchup than what the book suggests. I'd have the Yankees at like minus 120. I think 150 is an insane price, so I'll go with Cleveland plus 125.
Yeah, I think mine was a play on the stats rather than sort of your instinct in your reading of how Cleveland are playing at the minute, Scott, which is perfectly fair. 6:45 Eastern as we move into the evening slate of games. Kicks off with the Baltimore Orioles at the Washington Nationals. We have Tomoyuki Sugano for the Orioles, and it will be Trevor Williams for the Nationals. Plus 120 for Washington, minus 140 for Baltimore. Total, Scott, is 9.5.
Yeah, I feel like we had the same conversation yesterday. It's a bit different because I know yesterday we talked about Mitchell Parker, who's better than Kramer. But the real question is, do you really want to be laying with the Orioles? And I feel like the answer is probably not. I understand why they're favored in this game, though. I do think Sugano is better than Trevor Williams. Williams was good, though, last time out against Pittsburgh. But I'll go with the over instead. I understand it's 9.5, but I think it's warranted. Sagano's been okay. Doesn't typically go much distance, but Williams, his overall numbers have not been good. He was good for one outing against Pittsburgh. We know Pittsburgh can hit, so I'm not going to overreact too much to it. I'll go with the over in this game. I understand why Baltimore's favored, but I really don't want to lay it with this team. So I'll just take the over instead and move on.
So this is back-to-back games, a lot like the Yankees, where I made my pick, thought I'd get a better price, and I picked Baltimore, but I don't really want them at minus 140. Like the Yankees at minus 140 was a little bit ugly. Sagano's looking okay. 4 starts now, 343 ERA, 129 whip. If he can roll along with that all year, he'll be absolutely fine. 2 road starts have been good. Crucially, he went 7 innings last time. That to me says he's kind of settled a little bit more. Williams was okay against Pittsburgh, but then so would RB. I really prefer Baltimore in all 3 aspects of the game in this particular spot. And actually, my very last note says price, ? That's what I wanted to know before I pulled the trigger. I've come in from football, seen them at minus 140. So I picked Baltimore. But yeah, the price isn't particularly appealing there, Scott. Next up is a 6:45 Eastern first pitch between the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox. It is Emerson Hancock for the Mariners and left-handed pitcher Sean Newcomb for the Red Sox, who are minus 130 with Seattle plus 110 in a total of 9.5. Emerson Hancock is back. He was sent down on, I don't know, did he get sent down April the 18th? He was struggling. He was really struggling. 229 whip through 2 starts. His ERA is sitting at, 12.71? Yep. So Emerson Hancock has not been the answer. So I do fear for him here. Sean Newcomb's still not going deep into games. He's not going beyond 5 innings, multi-walks in every game, but he's been okay. This was really hard to split as well. But both bullpens are dodgy. I wanted the team total here for Boston, I think was the way to play it. I'm just happy to fade Hancock. We're going to get a 5, probably 4.5, 5. I didn't necessarily want to back Newcomb, but a fade of Hancock seems reasonable. And the best way to do it is with a Boston team total. I wouldn't mind a live over. If you can get an over after round about 4 innings, 3 or 4 innings, I think you could pile in and we could see the runs pile up later. So that might be another way to play it. But yeah, Boston team total, we'll fade Hancock, Scott.
Yeah, so Hancock's had a weird season, as you said before. His first outing, Detroit killed him. 2/3 of an inning, 6 runs, and he didn't pitch for about 2.5 weeks. Came back against the Reds, and he gave up a 2-run homer in the first inning. So you figured, okay, he's probably going to get destroyed again. And then he gave up no runs for the final 4 innings. So he actually survived against Cincinnati. That was the crazy extra inning game that the Mariners did win, and they came back to win. I think it was 11-7. But the point is, Hancock was really bad for the first inning and 2/3, and then he found something against the Reds. But Newcomb, as you said before, has been better lately, goes no length at all, which is very concerning. I agree about a team total angle. I really don't want to take any of these teams on the money line because I don't trust them right now with this pitcher being listed. But I'm fine with fading Hancock. If you want to end up going for a fade of Newcomb too, I don't mind that either. But I don't think Hancock's that good. So I'll go with the Red Sox at home. I agree with you. Give me the Red Sox team total over.
Okay. Not much confidence, Scott, behind these picks so far. We've been dancing around.
I'm waiting for good pitchers. You know, like you throw in 2 bad pitchers against each other, we're kind of stuck, right?
Yeah. There's some solid picks coming up, I'm sure of it. 7 p.m. Eastern time is the LA Dodgers at the Chicago Cubs. The Dodgers are officially TBD. I believe it's going to be Landon Knapp for the Dodgers. For the Cubs, left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd. This is a match on the books. It's minus 110 each of 2. No total yet. I'm guessing we have Wrigley Field weather issues there. Scott, bookies can't split them, the Dodgers and the Cubs, can you?
Well, first things first, I see the total set at 9. So it is a bit juiced to the under, but it is a 9 for the total. So I don't know who's pitching for the Dodgers. You said it might be Knack. I see undecided. Boyd's been solid so far this season. Faced off against the Dodgers already this season. I believe he gave up no runs in that outing. He's 1-2 though, so he gets a no run support at all with a 2.01 ERA. He actually was good against the Dodgers and gave up 3 runs late in that start, so I apologize, take it back. But he has been good. Problem is they can't score for him. So I'll go under. I think 9 feels pretty high. Now I got to check the weather just to make sure that the wind is not going too crazy, but I do think Boyd should pitch well. Cubs first 5. I'll back Boyd and I'll fade whoever the Dodgers are using in this game. But let me just quickly check the wind to see if it's going to be bad. But 9 at first glance does sound very high for a total. Cubs did very well against the Dodgers in that series about a week ago. And I think that, no, the wind's fine in this matchup. So give me the under. I think 9's a bit too high.
Yeah, I prefer the Cubs in this spot, actually. Landon Knack doesn't do much for me. He pitched 2 innings against the Cubs in Tokyo early in the season, was lit up by Washington, was fairly average against the Rockies last time out. Boyd has had a tough start schedule-wise. He got the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Padres, and now the Dodgers again. He really could do with a little series against Miami or Pittsburgh, somebody like that. Held his own really well against that opposition without getting much run support. He's got career numbers against the Dodgers, which are okay. But the Cubs have really upped their offensive output lately. They're hitting 258 against the Dodgers, 227, 6 runs per game lately, 785 OPS, which is second in MLB for the Cubs. So those numbers, coupled with the fact Boyd's going well and I'm not keen on Knack, I will land on the side of the Chicago Cubs. Whitney Houston's on then. It's an absolute parade of 80 stars. Underdog, pick 'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. Our code is MLB SGPN. That will get you a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball, models for NBA and golf. Building your own model is really easy. Couple of great deals at the minute. 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with the promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. 7:40 Eastern first pitch is the Colorado Rockies at the Kansas City Royals. We have German Marquez for the Rockies. Michael Lorenzen is the starter for the Kansas City Royals, who are minus 190. Colorado plus 170. Total is 8.5. German Marquez, he has a problem. 0-3, 8.27 ERA, 184 whip. I don't know what we're meant to do with that as handicappers, apart from fade it. Michael Lorenzen hasn't been great either, but by far his best start of the season was his one home start. And that's kind of what you're clinging on to here. Hoping he can back that up. Bobby Witt's been great. 13-game hitting streak, averaging 362 over the last 13 games, Bobby Witt. So if you want some hitting props, get involved there. We went through Colorado's road numbers last night, Scott. We don't need to do it again before game 1 of the series on Tuesday. I've got to take the Royals run line. I don't mind the Royals at minus 190 if you wanted to build a little 2-team parlay somewhere. I expected them actually to be north of $2 favourites, and they're not. But yeah, the Royals should turn them over comfortably.
Yeah, the only concern is I don't think Lorenzen's been that good. So I feel like the question is he's been better than Marquez, but I'm trying to find value here. I might actually just go for it. Give me the Rockies team total over. I know that the offense isn't very good. I'll take a spin on it. I don't think Lorenzen's that great. He's been kind of a mess this season. He got shelled by Detroit last time out. Not a big fan of his performances. I think the Rockies can do enough to score something in this game. They are really bad. Like, I'm aware of it. But if I'm going to bet Colorado, I can't attach Marquez to it. I'll avoid Marquez entirely. I'll go against, once again, Lorenzen. Give me Rockies team total over, but I'm not happy about it.
It was the one good home start. That was kind of what I was hanging my hat on there for Michael Lorenzen. Chris C has joined us in the chat with all the S's and Y's. Welcome, Chris A. How you doing? 7:40 Eastern first pitch is the Toronto Blue Jays at the Houston Astros. We have Bowden Francis for Toronto. For the Astros, it is Ryan Gusto. That is why I called Mr. Hart from the Padres Ryan Hart earlier on. I knew there was a Ryan somewhere. Ryan Gusto for the Astros. It's another match. It's -110 each of two. Total is 8.5. Scott, I keep getting you to split these games that the bookies can't. What have you got? Toronto v Houston.
Yeah, so Houston did a good job of winning the game yesterday. Hunter Brown's been incredible. Gausman went good early, then he got shelled in the 5th inning, and at that point the game was over because Brown was not going to allow anything. Brown is phenomenal all year long. I like Toronto in this game. I think we like Francis a lot more than Gusto. I'm not a Gusto guy. He's kind of a fill-in because Arrighetti broke his finger. They threw him in there to be a spot starter. He's not very good, but he's doing his best out there, I guess. We like Francis. I mean, dating back to last year, I think he was better back half of last year, but he's still, I think, the better starting pitcher in this game. Toronto's fine. Still waiting for Vlad to hit another home run. He's had one this entire season, but I do think Toronto can go well enough to get the job done here. With the better starting pitcher, it's good enough for me. Give me Toronto.
Toronto giving up 7 or more in 3 games in a row, which isn't ideal. But Bowden Francis is my guy. I backed him to do a few bits and bobs. He's been steady away. He hasn't been stellar so far, but 1, 3, 2, and 3 earned runs in his 4 games. He's been giving the Blue Jays a chance, is what Bowden Francis has been doing. And they've won 2 and lost 2 for him. I can see that pattern carrying on throughout the season. A 104 whip tells you he's in a good spot. Gusto starting in the pen. He's had a couple of starts, as you said, spot starts. Decent control. I don't want to write him off. I just think the names will have the total too high here because people don't really know Francis and Gusto. And my prediction was 8.5 or 9. Well, it's come in right at 8.5. Both teams have been profitable to the under so far. So with Francis on, and Gusto hasn't been terrible. I think that 8.5 might be a little bit too high. So I'm going to zag a bit there, and I will take the under.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I think I agree with you on that. I forgot to mention my thoughts on the total.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
7:40 Eastern first pitch. Chicago White Sox at the Minnesota Twins. White Sox officially TBD. I'm speculating Martin Perez, left-handed pitcher.
He's out for the season.
For those Minnesota Twins, it will be David Fester. At -250 for the Twins, +190 for the White Sox. I haven't seen a total on it.
I don't know if you heard what I said a second ago, but Martin Perez got injured. He's probably out for the year.
Wow, right, okay, didn't see that at all. Do you have any suggestions on a pitcher? I'll have one more check.
The only thing I know is whoever it's going to be is probably not very good. So that's my only thoughts on that one. It's the White Sox we're talking about. So Perez was one of the only bright spots they had, and now unfortunately he's on the shelf. So yeah, they got problems. But I'll ask you because once again, it's a massive price with a bad team. These are 2 really bad teams. You like Festa? You a fan of Festa?
It doesn't affect my pick, which is okay because I really like Festa. Now, I don't think he's a -250 pitcher. He's not that good, but I do like him. 9 innings, 0 earned runs, 111 whip so far. Trying to find different bets in these White Sox games every night is a real challenge. Chicago White Sox first 5 under is what I played here. I just think Festa will shut them down, and that's about it. I don't have to factor in a White Sox pitcher. We're going to have to try and find ways of manufacturing bets, unless we just stick with them to get humped on the run line every night, which will probably be a profitable trend, but it is boring. White Sox first 5 under, Scott. Have you got anything more creative?
It's tough to be more creative than humped on the run line, so I'm probably not going to beat you on that one. But I'll go with Twins -1.5 if I had to pick something. I mean, the White Sox are worse than the Twins. Festa, I think, is fine. He doesn't go much distance, but I do think he's still a pretty effective pitcher, and the White Sox can hit. So, yeah, give me the Twins to hump the White Sox on the run line.
Have you ever been humped on the run line, Scott?
If I did, I can't talk about it. But no, I have not. Have
Okay.
you? Or is that classified?
Oh, regularly.
Regularly?
Absolutely
Okay.
regularly. It was my
I
go-to thing.
think St. George would be disappointed at you hearing that.
That is tradition on April the 23rd. Everyone gets humped on the run line. 9:38 Eastern first pitch is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the LA Angels. Left-handed pitcher Andrew Heaney for Pittsburgh. For the Angels, it will be Jack Kikanovich. -145 the Angels, +125 the Pirates. Total here is 8.5. Andrew Heaney, he's been okay. He's pitched well in 3 of his 4 starts. There's no reason why he can't go well again here. And Kikanovich hasn't pitched particularly well. 6.20 ERA, 1.48 whip. His last 2 starts have been really, really poor. He's given up 10 earned runs. He only struck out 1 batter in each, which is a bit of a problem. Tells you there might be issues there. The Angels are only hitting .214 against left-handed pitching. So I haven't done this too often this year, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh early. Might be a little 1-0 Pittsburgh first 5. But yeah, Pittsburgh to get it done early, Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think that Heaney's the better pitcher here by far. He's been solid throughout the entire season, and I do think we're going to look at the Angels' numbers against lefties and not very good. Kichanowicz has been awful, as you said before. The Angels, we know they're very home run dependent. When they don't hit home runs, it can be a bit rough, and Heaney's done a good job. So give me the Pirates in the first 5. I might not mind the full game. If you want to get creative with it, maybe a Pittsburgh alt run line, -1.5 for the super plus money. You can take that shot at it, but I'm really not a Kichanowicz guy at all. I don't think he's very good, and Heaney's been solid. If Heaney leaves the game and Pittsburgh's up 4-1 in the 6th or 7th inning, that wouldn't surprise me. So I don't mind maybe a spin on the Pirates -1.5.
Okay, nice, Scott. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Taj Bradley for the Rays. Eduardo Rodriguez, left-handed pitcher for the Diamondbacks, -145. The Snakes, +125. The Rays. Total, Scott, is 8.5.
I still don't know how good Taj Bradley actually is. But to be honest, I'm getting tired of him. Because I feel like people hype him up every year, and I'm still waiting for it, and it just doesn't happen. And then he'll have 3 good starts in a row, and you're like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. And it's like, no, he gives up 3 home runs and 5 runs in 5 innings, and he's back to where he started. So I don't really know if Taj Bradley is that good. Maybe you could help me with that. But Erod has not been great either. I mean, he's been better recently. He's 1-2, 4.09 ERA, but he struck out at least 9 guys in 2 of the last 3 starts. Give up 10 hits, though, against Miami, which is a red flag. Only 1 earned run, but 10 hits against Miami in 5 1/3 is a mess. So I'll go with the over in this game. I'll see runs here. I think Erod, once again, is not as good as the recent starts suggest when you look under the hood. Gives up contact, doesn't go much distance, and he's not been very good with Arizona since signing there. Bradley, though, I, once again, don't think that highly of. And Arizona offensively is dangerous. So based on the actual numbers here, I don't want to lay 150 with Arizona, but I understand it. I'll go with the over, though. I see 9 at even money. You might be able to find an 8.5 or like -120 or something. I don't mind the over in this game. I think each team can get the 4. Good enough for me. Give me the over.
Yeah, I've got an 8.5, Scott. That was my line. The first line of my notes here says, echoing exactly what you said, I've still got high hopes for Bradley, but it's difficult to bet him at the moment.
We all have high hopes for him. He just doesn't show it. We all hope he can be good. He just can't be good consistently. That's the annoying part.
Relatively tight games he's pitched in. He's had a 6-4 and a 6-3 win, a 6-4 and a 6-3 defeat. So they balance out on either side. Erod's put it together the last twice. I noticed his career numbers against the Rays have been really bad in quite a large sample size as well. 2-6 with a 5.55 ERA, Erod. And I found a really strong trend here, which tipped me. The Diamondbacks are 11-4 to the first 5 over against right-handed pitching. It's a strong trend, 11-4. I like that. We're happy to fade Bradley. So yeah, first 5 over between the Rays and the Diamondbacks. The penultimate game on the show is a 9:45 Eastern first pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Francisco Giants. Freddie Peralta goes for the Brewers. It will be Logan Webb for the Giants. -135 San Francisco. +115 the Brewers. Total I'm seeing is 6.5, which is particularly low. There's got to be a 7 kicking around somewhere. Peralta's had a great start. Absolutely outstanding. He's been dealing 191 ERA, 102 whip. Career record against the Giants is fine. I think home Logan Webb is the longest running trend on the MLB Gambling podcast. Episode 666. And I don't think we've gone out since, Patrick Corbin's back, actually. So maybe him fading Patrick Corbin.
We'll say positive trends, because you can fade a bunch of bad pitchers. We'll go positive trends.
Yeah, I was saying nice things about people. This has been ongoing for 5 years now since we started this. It just looked like a dead under, didn't it? Especially with the Giants. You don't normally need much encouragement. It looks like 3-2 to somebody. So even though that total is 6.5, and we'll find a 7. But someone will win 3-2. I don't care who it is, because we'll cash the under, Scott.
Yeah, I agree. I found a 7 at -125. I'll take it. I'm not going to overthink it. Every Giants game with Webb at home feels the same. Not going to reinvent the wheel here. Give me the under. You said 3-2. I'm thinking more like 2-1, but same idea. As long as we don't get extras, I feel pretty good about it. So I'll go with the under.
Team ride on the under. Final game, 10:05 Eastern. First pitch is the Texas Rangers at the Athletics. Kumar Rocker for the Rangers. Left-handed pitcher JP Sears for the A's. It's another match, Scott. You've got the match again to sort out. -110 each of two, total 9.5. What have you got?
Yeah, so for this one, we know they've been pretty underwhelming at home. They're 2-7. Rangers, though, are only 3-6 at home. Rocker's been a mess, I'll put it that way. Sears has been fine, though. But Rocker so far this season he was good last outing against the Angels, but the one common theme here is he's been good at home and bad on the road. His ERA on the road is 12.79, which is no bueno. If you're looking at Sears, though, 2-2, 3.13 ERA. At home, not good either, 6.75 ERA. Only one home start, though, so tough to really, use it without a large sample size. Last start, though, ended up giving up no runs against the White Sox in 6 innings. That was on the road. He has given up less than 4 earned in every outing so far this season. I think Sears is better. Give me A's first 5.
You're going to enjoy the last line of my notes here, Scott. So Texas coming into this, 285 starting pitching ERA, second in MLB, but Rocker hasn't particularly helped that. I'm struggling with him. I've had him on the show a few times, and I really struggled. He took a step forward last time, 7 scoreless with 8 strikeouts, but it's his road starts. He hasn't been great. Sears went 6 scoreless against the White Sox. He was steady. I mean, Texas 3-6 on the road. Don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
The A's 2-7 at home. Don't want to get involved in that. My last line says I'm going to bet the underdog, and then I've got -110 each of 2, Scott. So I can't bet the underdog. I just thought whichever team was the underdog would represent most value because I can't split them. Well, it turns out neither can the books. One thing I'm going to mention with the A's here is a call-up of Nick Kurtz, Kurtz, 4th overall pick in 2024. He's an absolute unit. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. So he's your height and my weight, Scott. Which in one person, he's got all the power. He's got loads of fun to watch. The Athletics have got loads of fun players anyway. Nick Kurtz, just a little boost here. He tips the needle for me tomorrow. I will take the Athletics at -110. Looking forward to see what Kurtz does.
Yeah, you throw him with Wilson, though. The A's have, I was going to say, the A's have a couple of young players, though. They got Kurtz, they got Wilson. I'm not saying they're good, but Soderstrom might play a bunch of positions. You got Rooker, of course. You have Butler. They got some decent young talent over in Sacramento now. They're not going to be a good team, but at least they'll be entertaining. They can maybe score some runs, which we've not been able to say about the A's for a long time. So at least that counts for something.
We'll be sitting here backing them every night for the 2028 World Series. The Las Vegas Athletics will be round about 6-1. 6-1 second favourites to win the World Series. Scott, don't pinch all the good stuff, but you can lead us off with a lock and a dog.
Okay, so for the lock and dog, so many good games to choose from. What am I going to pick? I already know what my dog's going to be. The question is what I want the lock to be. Okay. You know what? For the lock, I think I am just going to go with the. I want to go with the first game, actually. It involves backing the Braves, though, offensively, and I really don't want to do that. Give me the under in the Giants game at 7, minus 125.
Okay.
I feel like at the end of the day, we've seen Webb have just a ton of late night gems in Oracle, and I see that happening again. Milwaukee's been good lately, I get it, but Logan Webb is a Logan Webb, and Peralta's been really good. Good enough for me. I'll back the low total. Give me the under 7 as my lock. For my dog in the card, I think I got to do it, and it's going to annoy you because I'm sure that was yours. Give me the Reds at plus 110. I don't really have a choice. Alcantara has not been very good this season. Singer's been very good. You mentioned the run support. The Reds offensively, I know they got shut down by Meyer yesterday, but they've been good in general. Miami is just not good enough to be laying 130. And Alcantara's price, like we're back in 2024 or 2023, and we're not. Because I checked the calendar, we're still in 2025. So I don't really like Alcantara's current form. Give me the Reds with Singer at plus 110.
Okay. You didn't steal my dog, Scott.
Really?
I like Pittsburgh.
Okay.
At plus 125. I thought you were going to, but I'll take the Pirates at plus 125. Heaney's okay. Kikanovic isn't. So we give the Pirates a shot there. And for my luck, I'm going to go to that strong first 5 over trend that the Diamondbacks are rolling 11-4 against righties to the first 5. And it helps that we can factor in a fade of Taj Bradley in that game as well. So that will be my lock, the first 5 over in the Rays and the Diamondbacks. Scott, home run hitter. I'll lead us off because I'm going to stick with Kurtz. I've talked him up. Nick Kurtz for the A's. Don't think he's going to play. He's been called up today, but they're facing a lefty tonight, aren't they? I think the A's. Who are they facing tonight?
I believe they say Kurtz is not going to play today because they want him to get acclimated. Yeah. So I think he's sitting tonight.
It's Corbin as well. They're facing the lefty Corbin tonight. So they'll roll with Kumar Rocker. Looks a little bit vulnerable. So let's go with a debut homer for the big man. Nick Kurtz, I'll take for the Athletics, Scott.
Okay. So for mine, do I want to go? I could fade Rodon, but I'm not going to do it because he was off a good start. You know what? I'll fade our boy Kachanowicz over here. Give me the only guy that I think could actually hit a home run on this team. Give me O'Neal Cruz to hit a home run against him. I don't really like, once again, the lineup entirely, but Cruz has been good to start the season. That counts for something. Maybe a leadoff home run. We'll see what happens. Give me a Cruz missile against Kachanowicz.
You know who O'Neal Cruz is named after? Or for?
St. O'Neal? St. Cruz? I don't know. Tom Cruise?
He was a New York
Tom
Yankee,
Cruise? I don't know.
New York Yankee?
Wait, is his name Paul O'Neill?
It is.
I was actually going to guess Paul O'Neill, but I thought that was just so incorrect that I wasn't even going to bother. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. His dad was a big Paul O'Neill guy. That's amazing, isn't it? Really, the only reason I know about Paul O'Neill is that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer's trying to get
with his hat. Yeah.
He's trying to get the signed card back off the poorly kid in hospital. And he says Paul O'Neill will hit 2 home runs. Yeah. And he hits a triple, and they score at a triple and a throw-in error on the second one, and he can't get the card back.
And then he makes another deal with the kid saying that O'Neill has to catch a ball with his hat in the next game. Yeah.
I love it. One for the teenagers there, bit of Seinfeld chat. Scott, anything else to tell the people before we let them go?
Not really. Should be fun. Unfortunately for everybody listening, we will not be on the show together again on Wednesday, so we're going to spread it out a little bit. But it was fun. I had a fun 2 days.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. I think I'm back tomorrow with Dylan, possibly. Little bit of a turbo slate for Thursday. But yeah, thanks everyone who joined us in the chat. It was fun. Jesse's hit us with the serenity now in the chat. Love it, Jesse. Thank you very much. Good luck with all your picks, everybody. Same time tomorrow, and we will see you all down the road. Cheers.